The movie's story mainly revolves around a small town in Chile called Atacama, which is part of a desert, where several workers lived while working in the mines underground. At the beginning of the movie, it shows the villagers starting their day cheerfully as usual. Among them are Mario, Richo, and Alex, who were attending a retirement party for a fellow worker. Two siblings, Mario and Jerio, are also shown, along with a man named Igni, who is caught in the middle of an argument between his wife and girlfriend. On August 5, 2010, just like every day, all the workers arrived at the mine by bus. The mine's safety officer said he had gone to check the safety of level 3 and had found some cracked rocks. He mentioned that this increased the possibility of an accident occurring today. But the manager, displeased with his concerns, instructed him to continue with his work. It was essentially a privately owned mine that was opened in 1879, and every year several workers would die. Additionally, the mine's temperature was quite unsuitable for work. But due to the hope of extra income, everyone worked here. Just like every day, a small truck full of workers entered the mine. As they went deeper inside, they started to feel the severity of the mine. They realized that it was nothing less than a death trap. When the truck reached 1,700 feet below, they got off and began their work. A person named Richo is assigned the responsibility for their safety, and another team had already been working to 1,300 feet below. Richo spots a cracked rock and a ceiling fissure. Sensing danger, he worries but sees the workers are busy. He pushes aside his concerns and continues. Meanwhile, Mario is explaining the mine's features and dangers to a new worker. Just then, everything starts shaking as if an earthquake is occurring. Richo immediately jumps into the truck, gathers everyone, and starts heading toward the exit. But when the mountain collapses, their way out is blocked. So, Richo decides they will escape through the emergency exit to 1,300 feet down, where another team is working. They also start driving upwards, and everything behind them begins to crumble. Richo realizes that if they stay here, he will also die like the others. Richo sees to more members of his team trying to run for their lives. He slows down his truck to pick them up. Just then, the vehicle coming from below suddenly appears in front of them, and an accident occurs. As a result, the front wall collapses completely. They continue to run, and a powerful tremor causes the mine walls to fall, with debris spilling into the surrounding areas. Everyone realizes that something has happened inside the mine. Inside, complete darkness falls, and many are injured. Richo says there is a safety tank that can hold up to 30 people. He advises them to go there, and starts taking two people with him to climb up using the emergency stairs. Meanwhile, news spreads across the country, and many families of the trapped miners are devastated. They come outside the mine, searching for their loved ones. The news reaches the mine minister, Mr. Lawrence. He immediately informs the president of Chile, requesting a rescue operation to save the trapped miners. The president responds that this is not the government's responsibility, but the mine owners. Lawrence explains that it's not possible for the mine owner to handle the rescue alone. If they manage to succeed, it will enhance the government's reputation globally. Convinced by Lawrence's argument, the president agrees to take on the rescue operation. Meanwhile, as Mario and Richo climb up the emergency stairs, the stairs run out. Mario fears that this might be the end of their chance to survive. Feeling disheartened, they finally reach the safety tank, only to find its conditions very poor. The telephone line is not working, making it impossible to communicate with the outside world. The next morning, Mine Minister Lawrence arrives at the scene. As he does, the families of the trapped miners surround him, demanding the rescue of their loved ones and pleading for their survival. Lawrence promises to make every possible effort from his side. When he speaks with the manager informs him that there is no chance of anyone surviving below, and even if they do, they will only receive food for 3 days. Therefore, the rescue operation might be in vain. Lawrence trusts his words and goes outside to inform the families. He tells them that the rescue operation is very difficult and may be futile because there is no chance of anyone surviving below. Hearing this, a woman named Dahlia slaps Lawrence, and the others begin to wail, shouting for help. Some cry out, "Save my father," while others plead, "Save my brother." Meanwhile, the trapped miners, who haven't eaten for 2 days, start fighting among themselves for food. Mario tells them to manage their limited food carefully and avoid fighting if they want to survive. Richo, hearing this, becomes furious and says, after 10 years of working here, they haven't even installed an emergency staircase. Despite all the money spent, no one will come here to save us. Mario says, I completely believe they will save us. If they don't, our families will. If you have faith, you should believe. Otherwise, nothing will change. The next day, Lawrence gets permission from the president and brings an expert engineer named Andre to the site. He assesses the situation of the 33 trapped miners and says they must be rescued at any cost because the whole world is watching. The trapped miners, after 24 hours, try to survive by eating some milk and 2 cookies. Outside, a glimmer of hope begins to emerge as the soil excavation machine arrives and drilling work starts. Gradually, the miners' headlights begin to fail due to a lack of charge, and they try to power them using the truck's battery. Suddenly, they hear the sound of drilling and become very excited. On the 5th day, the drilling encounters its first problem. Andre tells Lawrence that the drilling area is much harder than expected, causing the machine's drill head to break repeatedly. Lawrence shares the problem with everyone and says he will do everything possible to save them, but he himself isn't sure if it will succeed. Lawrence arranges food for the miners' families and sets up temporary schooling for their children, ensuring they have no problems during this time. After a full 12 days of drilling, they finally reach very close to the trapped miners. However, despite their efforts, the drill fails to reach them by just 10 meters. Everyone, including the miners, feels disheartened and prays for a miraculous rescue. Meanwhile, the situation below is even more dire as they have only 1 more day's worth of food left. For the past 15 days, they had been eating small portions of food, which is now almost finished. As the last portions of food are consumed, the miners start experiencing hallucinations, imagining that their families are bringing their favorite foods. They eagerly consume the imagined food with joy. This scene highlights the critical importance of food and how dire life can become without it. The story takes another turn when Andre tells Lawrence that he can no longer continue the drilling because he believes no one is alive inside anymore. Lawrence tells him to look outside and see the hope in people's eyes, explaining how eagerly they are waiting, full of trust and anticipation. With a heavy heart, Lawrence sits alone and observes the families praying through the night for the safe return of their loved ones. Seeing this, Andre approaches Lawrence again and says they must learn from previous mistakes and start drilling once more. They resume the drilling work with renewed determination. Meanwhile, the miners, trapped for 17 days with almost no food, lose all hope of survival and prepare for the worst. However, it is said that if you truly desire something from your heart, God grants it, and that's exactly what happens here. Andre's drill hits the right spot, and a drop of hopeful water falls on Mario's face. When Mario opens his eyes, he sees the drill machine and excitedly calls everyone to see it. They all become overwhelmed with joy. Mario begins to hit the machine with a rod, trying to make Lawrence hear from above. Mario writes a note with the news that all 33 of them are alive and attaches it to the machine's head. Lawrence and Andre can't believe their eyes when they see the note. As soon as they show it to the families, everyone breaks down in tears of joy. When the news spreads worldwide, every country starts offering their technological and financial support to Chile. Lacking sufficient funds, they prepare plans A, B, and C and begin the drilling operations. After going without proper food for so long, sending them nutritious or regular food suddenly would be very risky, as it might cause dehydration and lead to death. At this time, a team of NASA scientists steps forward and prepares the right amount of food and nutrients to be sent to them through a pipe. Lawrence arranges for everyone to speak with their families through video calls. The 33 trapped miners begin to attract global attention, and businessmen from various parts of Chile start offering financial support to their families to prevent them from having to work in such dangerous jobs again. The trapped miners, having received the necessary supplies, begin to resume a semblance of normal life. Seeing their photos in the newspapers, they feel happy. Even the Prime Minister of Chile talks to them via video call and promises that they will be with their families before Christmas. Just then, bad news arrives. Plan A is halted, and due to technical faults, they are forced to abandon Plan B as well. Their only hope left is Plan C. Andre and Lawrence, through video calls, are able to gather accurate information and drill at the right spot. However, The drill gets stuck at the final stretch. Lawrence asks Mario, "What can we do now? How can we overcome this obstacle?" Mario says that there is no other way but to carry out an explosion. Andre immediately objects, saying there is a lot of risk involved and even the mine could collapse. However, with no other option, they are forced to proceed with the explosion. The next day, a capsule box made by NASA arrives. After 69 days, the day finally comes when the capsule box is sent down. Seeing the capsule, the 33 miners breathe a sigh of relief and feel immense joy. At the start, Alex is the first to go inside the capsule. However, before leaving, he becomes very emotional because he has spent 69 days in a place where people can't usually last even a single day. He has experienced something here that is unimaginable anywhere else. He bids farewell to everyone and promises to meet them again once they are out. The capsule ascends rapidly, reaching a place without any oxygen. Alex struggles to breathe and starts shouting. Everyone sweats as they reverse the capsule and start pulling it back up. Once Alex emerges, everyone is immensely relieved and overjoyed. Alex hugs his father and becomes emotional. Seeing his newborn child, he breaks down in tears. Then Mario hugs his wife and breaks down in tears. One by one, everyone is helped to the surface. At the end, Jerio comes up, but she cannot find her sister. After 24 hours of the operation, 33 workers who had been trapped to 1,300 feet underground for 69 days are rescued alive. The entire Chile, along with the world, celebrates this success. Finally, Jerio finds her sister and holds her tightly, crying with relief. At the end of the movie, a person is shown arriving last. They look around the mine and cry with joy, as they never imagined they would return alive. They write on the wall, "The Almighty is always with us." At the end of the movie, the direct witnesses of the incident are shown. It is mentioned that even after several years of legal battles, private companies often abandon them. In the Chilean incident, even though 33 miners survived, every year, over 12,000 people lose their lives in similar mines. However, instead of receiving any compensation or pension, they continue to face a life of hardship and struggle. Please like and leave a comment. Make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon to receive all updates.